today.
I could practice. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Right. I like that. I like that.
So yeah, after some good practice, I'm sure I could. But singing, for sure, I think that's something that comes a little bit more natural.
You think so? Mm-hmm. No, I think you can work at anything and become anything you want to if you are dedicated, and passionate about what you want to do.
Okay.
It's all about effort.
Okay. It might be a little too late in the game to dedicate myself to singing, but I'll keep that in mind. You know, hopefully we have a long life to live, and I could pick that up at some point.
Yeah, I'll do some singing for you.
Okay, a little singing, a little song and dance.
I think the song goes, "Drive today, you can do it all by yourself.
Sounds good.
Thrive today. I can do it. Believe that you can too."
That's appropriate to your introduction. I like
that.
It's
a song.
Yeah, your theme song.
You're getting the song and the book at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thriving. I like it. That's the theme for the whole experience.
Yeah. So why did I write this book? You ask. Okay. Because I believe in it today. Each and every one of us has the potential to become anything. You can succeed at some things, but to maintain success, that's where thriving comes in. Okay. You could be good at. We've seen athletes. They succeed in one area of their gameplay, but the other areas they're failing. Okay, they could be struggling with a marriage, the law. They call them smoking or call them drinking. So they're not thriving.
Right.
Yeah, they succeeded in one area of life, but they're not thriving as a whole human being. That should be.
Can I ask you a question? What is your definition of thriving?
Thriving requires prosperity. Okay, you bloom. Okay, you grow like a baby. If you have a baby, you're gonna feed this baby some milk, some hope not oatmeal. You know, yeah. Why? Because it requires a tree. A tree requires sun and also the rain. Okay. To be able to grow, to be a tree. If a tree only is getting the sun, okay, without the rain, that tree won't grow. So you need all. So thriving requires all these aspects of growth. So when I'm writing about this book titled Thrive, I'm looking at so many aspects of life. What makes you a complete individual to thrive and be successful? Okay. So you gonna need a couple of things, and these things I learned from my mother growing up. You know, my mother. I grew up with 9 siblings.
Oh wow!
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big family.
Yeah, and we lived in a small house, 1-bedroom house.
Okay.
Very small. So my brothers, the brothers, we used to sleep on a mat. Just across the mat, and the sisters slept on the other side of their mat. There were 3 sisters, so you could sleep and you could be dangling your legs on your neighbor. Okay, and we used to be covered in one blanket, and this is rain and hot weather, but because of mosquitoes, we had to cover ourselves. Mosquitoes were killing people like crazy. But my mother used to come at night and cover us and go back to her room. One day I woke up when I had rat bites. We had a rat infestation in the community. So I woke up, I had rat bites, you know. I couldn't walk. And I know why the rats were really feasting on us, because we were so poor, we couldn't have food left over. So they're like, "You don't leave food behind, we're going to eat your feet." So
we'll eat you.
We'll eat you. You know. So I couldn't go to school.
Okay.
But 2 days later I went to school, and the teacher said, "Why didn't you come to school?" I said, "Oh, because before I even finished the statement, the kids said, 'Oh, you had rat bites.' You know? But they started laughing. He said, "No, everybody got rats at home. We had a rat infestation. We lived in a suburb, a very small area. Okay. It was considered where the poor people live, and that's where we lived. So we had all these problems. And when my father walked away when I was 4 years old, I normally say my father died when I was 4 years. He's still alive. But he died when I was 4 years old.
Right.
He just ceased to be. Okay. And he went on to have 50 more children.
15?
50.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And
50 more in addition to the 9?
to the 9, yes.
So 59?
Yes. My father was really busy. He was a busy man. I don't even know what he was doing, because if you have all those many children, you got no time to work. You must be working, the ladies.
Right. Were you guys all living in the same
Same zip code?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in America, you could have a woman in Texas,
Or in New York,
DC,
right.
New York. For my case, we were in the same zip code.
Wow.
And we knew where each woman was, because they used to fight each other all the time. My mother used to fight these women because my mother was one of the first ladies. And so she felt she was violated. This is her space. I was the first woman. I was the first. But this fight between women, we were caught up as children because they hated each other. You bewitch me, I bewitch you. I'm sick. My mom could be sick of malaria and she'd say, that woman bewitched me. I said, Mom, take a Tylenol. Take a Tylenol, Mom, take a Tylenol. She could not. My mom could not take a Tylenol. So this fighting affected us as children. And so when my father left, we were left to struggle. My mom was always sick. So one day, actually, because of the infighting between these women, my mother found me almost dead. Because my stepmother had poisoned our food. So poor kid came from school, grabbed whatever was there, the milk. It was sold. I drank and passed out. I ended up in the hospital for almost a month, and so I almost died. So this infighting. So my uncle came and took me. Because my father took the small house and gave it to another woman. And so my mom had to go back to her place where she came from.
And did that separate you and your siblings?
Yes, separated everybody. So I ended up with my uncle. Some of them ended up with other relatives. So that's how I grew up. And I knew that even though that was my background, I knew one thing, that anyone can rise above any circumstance and achieve success if you are determined and passionate about what you want in life. So I knew what I wanted in life. I was young, but I knew what I wanted. Because I used to look at my neighbor's house. My neighbor had a black and white TV. He was a rich guy, according to us. He was rich. He had a black and white TV. We never had anything. We never had. We didn't even have chairs to sit on. We used to. Our kids used to say, "Where do you guys sleep?" You know, kids come to your house and say, "Where do you guys sleep?" And we could hide the time of sleeping. We would wait for everybody to go. Then we go and sleep because we knew we were sleeping on the floor. So I ended up living with my uncle. And my uncle was an interesting guy. Man, that guy could beat the crap out of me. He said, "You are spoiling my children." I was a bad apple. I was a bad guy trying to spoil his children. So, but I also knew that what I saw at my neighbor's house, I used to go watch his TV. I used to see American music singing. I mean, videos. You know, that was big at that time. You know, I used to see the beautiful women, the beautiful streets. You know, the homes. I'm like, that's where I want to be. That's my place. As little as I was, I used to dream.
Right.
You know, they say imagination is the preview of things to come. If you can imagine things, just imagine. Let your mind go wild. Imagine things. You'll be surprised what you can get in life if you let your mind go out of order. Sometimes we want order. We want to know things. I want this to work the way I want it to work. Let your mind go wild.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how far.
Yeah.
Because anything that you graphically begin to see,
you can create.
You can create it
and manifest.
become it.
Yeah.
So a little boy like me, coming from that poverty, I dreamt that one day, without having a relative, I'm dreaming when I'm on the floor, looking through the roof, this was a broken roof, because we lived by the barracks. Poor people lived by the barracks. Rich people could not live there because they knew the barracks and the army were unstable. So only the poor rich lived right there. So we were like kind of protected by the army, but we were poor. There was nothing to take from us. Yeah. So this broken roof, I could look through and see the moon and dream. Not when it was raining, because when it rained, you had to get buckets. You gotta get buckets, and get out of the way. So, but that was a beautiful night, seeing the moon and dreaming what I saw on TV, and say, one day I'll get there. One day. So sometimes it's not what happens to you; it is what you do in response to what happened. If you can dream it, you can have it. So I write this book, Thrive, because I believe that anybody I know, no matter where you're coming from, no matter what your background, you could be in the ghetto, no matter where, you could be raised by a single mother, you could be raised by a no father, or a single father. Today we do that, today we have that, okay? Yeah, no matter what your background, if you are passionate about what you want in life, you can do it. And how do you become passionate? You have to be driven by vision. What drives you? What inspires you? Because vision is like purpose in pictures. You see the end before the beginning. So if you can dream it, you can have it.
If I can do it, you can do